Peter Pan. Once upon a time, in a big and beautiful house, lived the Darling family with 3 children. The eldest daughter Wendy and her 2 younger brothers, John and Michael. They had a dog called Nana. One night, a strange little boy entered through the window flying. Surprised, Mrs. Darling cried out. Nana tried straight away to catch the intruder, but could only get hold of the runaway boy's shadow. Mrs. Darling took it and put it away in the drawer. A tiny fairy named Tinkerbell always accompanied the young flying boy, and she saw where Mrs. Darling had put her friend's shadow. So the following evening, while the parents were absent, the boy and the tiny fairy came back and went straight to Wendy's room. Wendy woke up and asked, "Who are you, and what are you doing here?" "My name is Peter Pan. I came to get back my shadow that was separated from my body." At once, Wendy brought it back to sew it up again to his feet. "But where are your parents? And where do you come from?" asked Wendy. "I don't know where my parents are. I have left them when I was little. One day, I heard them talk about my future. I didn't like it, and I refused to grow up. So I ran away, and ever since then, I live in Neverland with 6 lost boys." "I'm their captain," said Peter Pan, explaining. "Is it far away, your Neverland?" asked Wendy. "Yes, very far indeed. But if you want, you can come with me." "I would love to, but on condition that I can take along my 2 brothers, John and Michael," said Wendy. "Agreed," answered Peter Pan. "How do we get to Neverland?" "It is very simple. We fly there." "Fly? But we don't know how to fly," said Wendy in a worried voice. "Thanks to my friend Tinkerbell and to her magic powder, you will be able to fly at once," said the boy. After getting some advice, the 3 children flew from the window with Peter Pan. After a long time of flying over forests, mountains and seas, Peter Pan and his friends finally got to Neverland. While they were still floating in the air, Little John asked Peter Pan, "Who does this ship over there belong to?" "To my sworn enemy, Captain Hook. He and his crew are spiteful pirates. Because of them, we are obliged to live in an underground hideout. During a previous fight, I cut off the captain's left hand, so he replaced it by a hook. I threw his hand to a crocodile that is still following him ever since. That is why Captain Hook hates me so much, doing all he can to capture us, the Lost Boys and me." After these explanations, Peter Pan and his friends arrived at the underground hideout, where the boy introduced them to the 6 lost boys. One day, Captain Hook, his loyal first mate Mr. Buzz, and the other pirates were tracking down the children. The boys just had a narrow escape when they took refuge in their hideout. In fact, they could reach the refuge through holes made in the trees' hollow trunks. Captain Hook was furious. "They mustn't be very far," he grumbled. Confused, the captain went to sit on a big mushroom. Suddenly, he jumped up, holding his buttocks. "That is hot!" he screamed. He saw then that the mushroom foot was a smoking chimney. He realized that he has just discovered the Lost Boys' hideout. Captain Hook saw the holes in the trees, but they were too narrow to let him in. Suddenly, he heard a strange voice. Tick-tock. "It is the crocodile," he cried. "This ugly animal will never let go of me. Fortunately, it has swallowed the clock. This way, I can hear it come." And Captain Hook and his men ran away as fast as they could. Neverland was also the home of an Indian tribe that hated pirates. Their chief had a daughter named Tiger Lily. One day, the children rushed up to Peter Pan, screaming and saying, "Peter, Peter, the pirates have captured Tiger Lily." In fact, the Indian princess was tied up in a canoe on board of which were Captain Hook and Mr. Buzz. While the small boat was making its way towards the pirate's ship, Peter Pan swooped down and skillfully cut Tiger's Lily bones with his dagger. Then he flew away with her. Captain Hook tried to hit Peter Pan with his sword, but couldn't reach him. "You won't get away with it, Peter Pan," he yelled. mad with rage. Then he ordered Mr. Buzz to row very quickly towards the ship because he has just seen that his other enemy, Tick-Tock the crocodile, was following the canoe. Quickly, quickly, Mr. Buzz! I don't want to end up in its mouth. Peter Pan brought Tiger Lily back to her tribe. The chief was very grateful, so he proposed to help. Peter Pan accepted, and the Indians guarded the secret hideout. Captain Hook, still angry, decided to capture the children. The pirates came in big numbers and clashed with the Indians. "Don't go out, children. If the Indians win, they will bang their tam-tam drums. It is their custom. If you hear it, you can go out. As for me, I feel exhausted and I will have some rest," said Peter Pan. But Captain Hook was standing near one of the trees and he heard everything. The pirates won the battle. Hook told Mr. Buzz to bang the drums, and the children were tricked. They went out of their refuge to be captured by the pirates. After that, they were carried to the ship. Because he was deep asleep, Peter Pan didn't hear anything. Tinker Bell came to wake him up and told him what had happened. In the meantime, Captain Hook made his men install a plank on board. One of its ends overhung the waves. The wicked pirate has decided to throw the children, one after one, in the sea. They were all waiting, tied up before the plank, except Wendy, who was chained up to the mast. "Only Peter Pan is still missing," shouted Hook angrily. Far from there, Peter Pan was blaming himself for oversleeping that long. He said to Tinker Bell, "Let's go! Let us not waste time any longer." All of a sudden, Captain Hook heard the so familiar sound. Tick-Tock! "Oh no! Help!" he screamed out. Then he ordered his men to surround him and protect him. In fact, he ignored that it was Peter Pan who imitated the crocodile's voice. Peter Pan took advantage of the confusion that reigned in order to free Wendy and the boys. The children picked up the arms and put the pirates, taken by surprise, to flight. At this moment, a terrible fight broke between Peter Pan and Captain Hook. The boy was quick, nimble, so he was able to avoid the strokes of the pirate who was waving his sword in all directions. The fight made them head towards the plank, where Peter Pan forced Captain Hook to step back. The latter lost his balance and fell in the sea where the real crocodile was waiting for him. The captain swam as fast as he could, the ferocious animal on his trail, and no one ever saw him again. The next day, after a well-deserved rest, Wendy, John and Michael asked Peter Pan to take them back home. "We miss our parents so much," said Wendy. And she added, "The lost boys can come with us. I am sure that our parents will adopt them." Peter Pan accepted, even if he was sad to be separated from his friends. They all flew back, heading for the darling's residence. Wendy and her two brothers entered from the window and slipped into their parents' bed. What a surprise for the father and mother to see their children back. They all kissed and hugged one another. Then Wendy let Peter Pan and the lost boys come in. After a few seconds of deep thoughts, the parents accepted to adopt the boys. But Peter Pan refused to stay. He preferred to come back to Neverland. So he bade them farewell, but promised to return for a visit. Then he flew away in the company of his everlasting friend, the little fairy Tinker Bell.